Hey, welcome Taylor. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Glad
Rex.
to have you here. Excited to get to know you a little better.
Cool, thanks.
Uh,
Thanks for having me.
yeah, yeah. So what is it? What is it you do right now?
So I'm currently, I guess my title is called the General Manager over at Badger Screen Printing.
Oh,
Yeah, it's awesome.
I know the owner.
Oh yeah, BJ's the man.
I know him really well, actually, or fairly. I haven't seen him in years.
Cool. Can't wait to let him
Oh,
know
cool.
that you said hi.
But, yeah, dude,
Yeah.
I want you to do that.
Yeah, BJ. Yeah, he's the man. So I met him a few years ago. Actually, about 7 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And just kind of started off a good relationship and ended up working there.
Oh, good.
Had a contact that already worked there, and it ended up working out that he wants to retire soon, and so I was able to he's kind of mentoring me or training me, and I'm just working under him and kind of doing what needs to get done.
Nice.
So my job consists of a lot of things, usually dealing with people.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing.
Cool.
Yeah, it's been great. I love the job.
Nice. And so, what are you doing in school?
So in school, it's been kind of a toss-up. I've tried, like I said earlier, I've tried to drop out like twice. So at first it was business administration. I felt dull. I don't know, it just didn't fit right. And then this new degree popped up while I was about to take another test. So it was like a great timing. And it's called technical management. So it's more along, it still has some management skills in there and leadership qualities and stuff, and it has some of those things, but it also goes into like the production processes and like operations. So it like fit great with me because I love working with people, but I really like being involved with how things are
Hands-on
getting.
stuff.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
hands-on.
yeah.
I can't sit by a computer. I got to get going. I got to be, not that that's not a bad thing, but I like to be involved with how people
Yeah.
are actually doing it.
Totally get it.
Yeah, So I have a thing sitting down.
So technical management
Technical management.
within technology systems?
It's in technology systems. Yeah.
That's
So
exactly the one I'm doing.
exactly. Yeah.
And exactly the one I'm
Yeah,
doing.
yeah, same
I didn't
thing.
know that.
Yeah, and then my emphasis is, it's, because you can have like a couple emphases. Right now it's in entrepreneurship, but real estate is one of my big passions.
Uh-huh.
And so that's kind of, once I graduate, I'll be doing the same thing. So
Yeah.
I'm not, it's not looking to get another job. It's just kind of to get the degree that I should have got a while ago. But
Get the piece of paper.
yeah, get the piece of paper and keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, so, but I actually really enjoy school. So if I could, I'd probably study the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Because I really like the idea of having an assignment due and just getting it done. And I think that sense of accomplishment and learning something along the way is
Yeah.
it's big for me. So
Yeah. Nice. I did not do well in school,
same
in
thing.
high school and stuff. And
Yeah.
My first bout with college was iffy, but the last 10 years, I love
Yeah.
every class. I mean, every class I've
Yeah.
taken. It's like these classes I'm taking right now.
Mhm.
I don't know how well I'll do grade-wise in them,
Yeah.
but they're benefiting me.
Yeah.
I mean, they really are benefiting me big time, and at my job, they'll benefit me no matter what grade I pull in here.
Right. Yeah.
Like-
Kind of similar too is, high school was a joke for me anyway. But once I was able to have a little bit more flexibility in how I was learning, and especially with online school, that's when I really changed in how I was able to approach it. Because I had getting to class, sometimes I felt like when I was in class, it didn't seem like there was a lot. It was more socializing,
Yeah.
and which is great, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it was good to get into a place like the online school where I could actually just do it on my own time and really hone in on what I'm doing without doing a huge project. I guess I don't know what to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of weird to say. I don't know.
No, I get it. I
Yeah,
get it totally.
sure.
Yeah. So, you got any hobbies?
Yeah. Mentioned earlier, I really like real estate. So we have one duplex right now that we're just, we don't live there, but we bought it about a year ago and it's been awesome. My wife and I really have been enjoying
Nice.
working on the house. I really like, honestly, my hobbies are like welding and, just being outside. I like dirt biking.
Yeah.
I like working on my dirt bike probably more than I like riding it. I work on my truck a lot. I have an old truck that has broken down in the last 3 weeks, one time per week, and contemplating buying a new one. But every time it keeps fixing itself.
Yeah.
So I have a huge rod knock right now,
Yeah. Cool.
but
No.
it's gonna blow up.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna ride it till it dies.
Yeah. Nice.
So yeah, my hobbies are usually being outside, and probably my number one hobby right now is just spend time with my wife. I mean, feels like we're newlyweds,
Yeah.
and
Keep that as long as you can.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I think she's probably sick of me, but I like going out to eat and just being together and just talking about nothing. And but when she's not around, I definitely have to be outside. And
Keep busy, huh?
yeah, I'm not very good at sitting down and being on the computer.
Yeah,
Although I do that a lot.
Yeah.
At work and
work in school, yeah,
yeah,
I get it.
yep,
Cool.
yeah.
Well, thanks. Hey, well,
Sure.
So I got some questions to ask you for interview. So have you ever had to handle a hard situation with supervision? And if you did, how did you handle that?
Right, with a direct superior, like a supervisor.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah. The one that is, foremost on my mind that I can think of is a lady I work with, and I got a job, and it was it kind of skipped her job, if that makes sense. So I went from being below her. She was kind of my supervisor, and I got a job, and I didn't go to her job. I went to a job above her, so I kind of became her supervisor. And it was a really tense situation because my boss, my direct boss that I work with the most, it just made more sense with where I was at in life and kind of what I was studying and kind of some of those relationship skills and working with people and stuff. And I don't think that she felt very good about that. And there was no intentions from anybody. It just kind of seemed like it was a hard situation to handle. So with her, it was a difficult situation, which now it's taken about 3 years to really mull over. But what I did to really, I wouldn't say, cover up or mask away, but to help take care of or to help smooth that situation over is all I did is I spent time serving. So all I do, if anything came up where she needed help, I would try to be the first one to offer before someone else. And at first it didn't seem like that was a very appreciative thing because I think that she thought I was being superficial.
Yeah, still a little.
Yeah, which I honestly, in her situation, I can't blame her.
Yeah.
But for me, that was my that was what my direct supervisor above her told me to do. And I agreed with it, and it paid off, I think, in dividends, because right now we have a pretty good relationship.
Oh, good.
We're working good together, but yeah, we have our times still where I don't agree with some of the things she does, and I think about 2.5 years of doing that kind of helped out.
Takes some time. Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Sounds like you handled that well.
Yeah, it worked out pretty good, I think.
Cool. And let's see. Describe a time when you were faced with a stressful situation that demonstrated your coping skills.
The one that comes to mind currently is, I mentioned earlier, we had this duplex, and we were super excited about buying it a few years ago. We got some good due diligence done, and it was our first home we bought, albeit we weren't living in there when we bought it. And we had a problem come up with our sewer line. Main sewer line is made of Orangeburg, which is basically just a terrible idea of a pipe that isn't a pipe. It's just paper mache, and that thing exploded pretty much, and we had to decide how we were going to fix it. So I had a friend, or my dad's buddy, who does excavation. So we had that bid out. We had it bid out from about 5 other companies, and we went with a local one where instead of digging up the whole line, we spent more money to just dig up 2 small holes and pull a pipe through, pipe bursting, if you heard of that.
Whole new pipe, huh?
Yeah, just brand new pipe, and it costs, a couple grand more, but we pulled the trigger, and that was a difficult situation.
Yeah.
But we decided to do it, and I think it's going to pay off dividends. We'll probably make a good solid money back in about 1.5 years.
Yeah.
But that cut us back pretty hard. Yeah. So
Sure.
that was a difficult time. Still kind of tender, but far enough away now that we're not mad.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife was pretty upset, but
Yeah.
I guess as was I. But it's over now, and I feel good, and the tenants are happy. So
Cool.
yeah.
So you guys are renting, but you bought a place to rent out.
Yeah, it makes no sense, but
No.
we pay we pay a really cheap rent because it's my wife's mom's her boss has this house that they just rent out, and it's really inexpensive.
Uh-huh.
So we got on there when we first got married, and it's been great. So, and we really wanted to move, but the rent's too good. So
I ask because I, I bought this, we've lived in our house for 15 some years now.
yeah,
And I have a daughter who's moved out. She's paying rent at places.
yeah,
I mean, these little hole in the wall nothing. She's paying $750 rent.
Yeah.
And I pay $730
For a
for
mortgage.
my mortgage.
exactly.
And not only that, I talk to people who are renting houses.
Yeah,
They're getting $1,500 to rent a house.
exactly.
I'm like, man, tell my wife, let's get the kids out of the house.
Rent
And
it.
yeah, we'll rent the house,
Yeah.
live in a little
Just go with
condo,
the-
whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
And we can easily pay, anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I toy around with it. I'm like, that's tempting.
Yeah. No, it really, I mean, that's kind of what sold us is the idea of it. My dad at first thought it was nuts, but then he liked it after he ran numbers because he likes,
Numbers,
yeah. And, yeah, so right now with the rent, we're paying $400 a month for, 1 bedroom, 1 bath, but it's only me and her. But we have a situation where now that she's pregnant, we don't know how that's going to play out. So I guess we're just kind of playing it by ear.
Kick a couple of the tenants out of the duplex.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, move in the basement or try to find another one. I don't know. But yeah, so we're just trying to keep our expenses really low and minimize our debt. So
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
yeah, it's been great so
Well,
far.
every kid I've had, they stay in their bedroom in a little bassinet for the first 3 or 4 months anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Till you get tired of that and put them in a room. So you
And then
got
get him
some
far enough away from us so you
Yeah.
can't hear him.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'll let my wife know that.
Yeah. Yeah. Stay there as long as you can.
Sure.
Let's see. All right, give me an example of a time when you had to make a split-second decision.
Okay. I can think of kind of a funny instance that was, I can think of, I'm not sure if this is relatable, but I can think of a time when I was on my dirt bike and I was by myself and I was trying to make a corner really fast, thinking I was cool or whatever, no one watching. And I went off an edge and I had to decide to either jump off my bike or ride it through. And I ended up riding it through, which is possible, it ended up being great, but it was a very risky decision. And I've also had to do that. I mean, it turned out good. I didn't get too hurt, but I can relate that into my work experience right now where we have a lot of jobs come through. We have a lot of production work orders that come through that someone's looking for, and we have to decide, pretty much right then what we have to do to either, let's say go with this direction or this direction.
Mm-hmm.
And usually it comes down to like a style of shirt or a color. And yeah, it's usually just kind of, it's not life or death, but it's more fast paced. So
Yeah.
usually at work and in that instance of my dirt bike, I can think of that was very fast.
Get the decision made, keep the line moving.
Keep the line moving and not holding up things. Yeah.
Cool. Cool. Let's see. What's your typical way of dealing with conflict? Give me an example of how you deal with conflict.
Usually the way that I deal with conflict is through listening. I think that's the main thing I do. Like at work, there's this one supervisor that's overproduction, and I don't agree with. It seems like a lot of times we both, well, I wouldn't say butt heads, but we both disagree on the direction we should go, and so that results in a lot of conflict of not of interest, but of how we're going to get something done. And usually I have to listen to the whole side of what their idea is. And what I do is I try to, I wouldn't say manipulate, I would say try to guide in a direction that could be beneficial for both of us. Not even for us, but for the company as a whole. And so usually it comes down to listening to a side so they can get their ideas out and that they can hear that I understand them and feel that. And then through that I can kind of guide, I would say, into what I think is the best scenario for the company. So
Cool.
that's usually how conflict resolution goes for me.
Listen and compromise of sorts.
Yeah, compromise and make it a win-win, and just make sure that, you know, that the whoever I'm dealing with, whoever the conflict is with, that they're excited about the idea too.
Yeah.
That it's not a, this is the way it has to be done, no matter what or else, but rather I really think this solution could work, and we can mix them together, or I can show a different light and shed a different light on my idea.
A little bit of persuasion in there.
Persuasion and perspective, I think, that helps out is that sometimes I bring in, like, you know, hey, look, you know, we got this other guy coming at this time, or we have another truck showing up at this time, and in order to complete all these jobs, they have to be done in this interval.
Yeah.
And if they don't, then we start having this mix up, and then usually, you know, it would come into oh, that makes sense, and then more ideas happen. So it's more of a creative experience rather than a come hard down on and pull rank or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Cool.
yeah.
Nice. Sounds good. I have to ask you if I've done this one. I'm forgetting which ones I've done.
Yeah, no kidding. This is so small, or like tiny. I don't know. The text is small.
Let's see, we didn't. Did I do it? Tell me of a difficult decision you made in the last year. Tell me about a difficult decision you've made in the last year. Did I do that? Did we do that one?
I think that you know, I don't know. I think the sewer line, maybe.
That one?
But I don't know. I can't remember which.
That was a stressful situation.
Okay,
You
yeah, okay,
demonstrated
a
your
different
coping
decision.
skills.
Okay, I can think of one. A difficult decision that we had to make in the last year, especially with my wife and I, would have to be in regards to going on that wasn't necessarily so difficult. I would say a more difficult situation would have to be in our place that we're living in right now. I think it was about a year ago. There was that bad flood, like.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know,
After that winter. Yeah, it was after, not last winter, but the one right
Yeah,
where I went
yeah,
before.
we got flooded out twice. So we got hit hard where we're renting,
Yeah.
and the whole thing was gone. So we had a lot of, not damage to our stuff per se, but more to the homeowner stuff. And we had to decide to either move out or to deal with the homeowners and having them fix things or remodel. So we made the decision, well, also with the permission of her parents, we decided to move back into her parents' house. And we lived there for about 4 months while they did a remodel on the house. And it turned out to be great. We spent about 3 months with her in-laws, or with her parents, and so that was good for me because we were more newlywedish and I could connect with them on a better level. We still talk about those times because we watched a lot of baseball.
Yeah.
So go Red Sox, that was great. And we came back to a newly remodeled apartment, and we had really good relationships with who the homeowners were because we were able to help out and rebuild that. We also saved money on rent, and so that was a difficult decision to move out into the parents' house. I think I was kind of nervous.
Oh, yeah. That's always a hard decision.
Yeah, but I was also, we were pretty newlywedish, and I could have said I was more naive than anything. But it was great. I mean, I love her parents, so it worked out pretty good, but that was a hard decision we had to decide on.
Are you guys from the same town?
Yeah, we are actually. So we went to the same high school, same year and everything, and we never, I dated all of her friends, she hung out with my friends,
Oh, yeah.
but we never connected, and we ended up, just doing some of the similar things. We ended up connecting again, and she asked me out a couple times, which is kind of funny because I never asked her out.
Yeah.
And finally, just worked out good.
Cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, one of those things.
Yeah.
You know when you know.
No one you know, yep.
Yep.
I apologize.
No, you're good.
I have a list here, but I can't remember if I should have brought paper.
Yeah,
Let's see.
with like a pencil check mark.
All right, did I ask you? When I showed them took the lead. Did we do that one?
I don't know what that one is. Yeah, so
Give me an example of when you showed initiative and took the lead. Oh, did you say we did that one?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, yeah. That's the last one.
I can, actually something today that happened that I took some initiative. It wasn't a huge thing, but sometimes in my job I have to do some I'm really involved with production, so sometimes I do production, which is basically just manual labor in getting something done and just to help the team keep going. So today we've been remodeling the building I'm working in, and we're doing it ourselves. So this is another workload on top of us. And we were moving probably about 40-foot beam, like a metal beam. It wasn't, an I-beam, so it was pretty light. It's hollow tubing and it had a big shelf on it. And we had about 6 guys of us lifting this shelving. And we had to transport it in some weird angles, trying to maneuver it out of some other beams that were in there. And we had to take it to another room and install it. And I was in the dead center in the middle, which isn't good or bad. But as we were moving, it seemed like no one was communicating about how we're gonna move this thing. And so I just kind of, decided to start telling them, guiding people through and telling, hey, you need to lift here to get over these boxes that they probably couldn't see because they were backing up. So I'd say, hey, you need to lift here. And then I would have to tell the other side to, hey, swing this end around so we can start going this direction, and then pointing them in direction and kind of guiding that through. And I think it worked out pretty smooth. But, it wasn't critical, but it seemed like there was a little lack of communication that needed to be resolved.
Yeah.
Just trying to help out. It's kind of when nothing's happening, got to step in.
Got to have a leader, right?
Something. I don't know.
Someone's got to call the shots.
Someone's got to say something. I think is the biggest thing. Didn't matter if it was a leader. I just want someone to say left, right. This is where we're going, instead of everyone trying to go a different direction.
Sure.
So that was one instance. I can think of.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you have any questions for me?
Sure. I would say in this position that I'm applying for, is there room for me to, kind of show some of my creativity and show kind of, have my own style involved with the position, or is it kind of you needing more of, a position filled and you need it done a certain way that, you don't really want it to be too flexible or that sort of thing?
That's a good question.
Yeah. Maybe another question would be how the flexibility at work is. I've had experiences where I was more effective to do something on the road or when I was traveling, and I could get some stuff done, but there wasn't a way for me to either clock in or to work remotely. So are there opportunities to work remotely while either on vacation or out of the office that I could get done outside of work?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I think that's all the questions
Cool.
I can think of right now.
Great. Well, thanks.
Yep, thank you.